So, in my previous video, I came to Pondicherry from Kerala, and today I'm going to Mahabalipuram or Mamalapuram as it's now called. It's 95 kilometers from Pondicherry and you should easily reach in 2 hours. Now, where is Mahabalipuram? It's of course in India, in the state of Tamil Nadu, just 60 kilometers from Chennai. Let me tell you more about Mahabalipuram while we are on the way. Mahabalipuram is a historic city which was a world-renowned port during its time. It's also claimed to be the world's first harbour. Some historians say that Mahabalipuram was a city which was submerged in the great floods from 13,000 BC to 10,000 BC. Before the Pallava dynasty, Mahabalipuram was known as Kadalmalai or Tirukadalmalai. There is still a temple here with the same name. Then it was known as Mamalapuram, which is based on the name given to the Pallava king Narasimha Varman. He was a great wrestler and hence the name Mahamallan, and Puram means dwelling in Sanskrit. During the Vijayanagara Empire from 14th century to 17th century, it came to be known as Mahabalipuram, which basically means the same thing, a great wrestler or warrior's dwelling. And since 1964, this place has retained its name Mamalapuram. A quick update. If you're going to Mahabalipuram from Pondicherry, then after some 50 kilometers, you will come across a huge lake called Odiyur Lake. The road literally goes beside the lake, and there is also a restaurant here called the Rose Village Restaurant. You get good food here. We tried the Medu Vada, Masala Dosa and Ghee Roast. All were tasty. There is a toll plaza on the way, but there is no toll collection. At the entrance of Mahabalipuram, you will be charged 75 rupees, that's to enter Mahabalipuram, and to park inside Mahabalipuram, which means parking is free inside the designated areas. Scooters and motorcycles don't have to pay as per my observation. There are 3 main areas of tourist interest in Mahabalipuram. These are the 3. The first has a lot of monuments and will take at least 1 hour to go through all of them. The second consists of the 5 rathas and is comparatively smaller than the first one. And then third, we have the famous Show Temple situated right besides Mahabalipuram beach. I first went to the bigger one. The entry fee is 40 rupees for Indians and 600 rupees for foreigners. Now, this entry ticket is valid throughout, which means you can visit the 5 rathas and the Show Temple with the same ticket. No need to buy any other ticket. The first thing you see when you enter the compound is a huge round stone called KRISHNA'S butterball. This stone, originally called Vanirekkal, meaning the stone of sky god, is on a short incline and yet is not falling down. This is a natural wonder. People did try to move it but were unsuccessful, the latest attempt being in the 20th century by the then governor of Mahabalipuram. He used 7 elephants to move the stone due to safety concerns, but the stone didn't move. The estimated weight of this stone is 250 tons, that's 250,000 kilo. Although it looks round from certain angles, half of the stone has broken away. Just besides the stone, you can also see the man-made wonder, plastic waste. Towards the right of the butterball, you can see huge boulders. Few of them seems to be worked on, but left incomplete. If you continue towards the right, you will see a temple, a cave temple called Trimurti Cave Temple. This is one of the very few fully finished monuments in Mahabalipuram. Here you can directly see the shrines as there is no mandapa. Now, mandapa is a pillared hall in front of a shrine. This area is the mandapa. This again. Mandapa differs in size and some might feel like a veranda or porch and the others like a marriage hall. There are 3 shrines in this temple. To the left we have Subramanya, also called Murugan. He replaces Brahma, who is normally present in any Trimurti group. Here he is seen in the BRAHMASASTA form. Now the story behind this is that once Lord Subramanya decided to test Brahma and asked him to explain the meaning of PRANAVA mantra, which is Om. Brahma was unable to give a proper reply and Subramanya sort of punished him for his ignorance. Hence the Brahmasasta form, meaning Brahma Punisher in a way. The central shrine is a prominent one amongst the three and has a carving of Shiva. You can also see a shivling here, but it was kept later on. On the right, there is the shrine of Vishnu. All the shrines have two Ganas and two devotees. To the right of Vishnu, you can see Goddess Durga standing on the severed head of the buffalo demon Mahishasura. More about that later. Right in front of the Trimurti temple is a small round cistern carved into a rock and looks like a small well. It's called the Gopis Churn and the outer part is incomplete. If you continue from here, you will see a small elephant panel carved in rock, which we skipped. And that's all you will find on the right to the KRISHNA'S butterball. And if you take a left, you will reach the Ganesha Ratha. The Ganesha Ratha is a monolithic temple, which means it was carved out of a single rock or boulder. The carving starts from the top and ends at the bottom, as opposed to our normal construction, which starts from the base and goes to the top. The inscription inside the temple clearly mentions that this was a Shiva temple and also had a ling till the 19th century, but it was removed afterwards and a statue of Ganesha was placed inside by the villagers. Near the Ganesha Ratha, you have a tree surrounded by rocks and it looks beautiful. That is till you go close to the tree and then you will see all the burnt garbage here. Waste management seems to be an issue over here. Little ahead of Ganesh Ratha, you have the Varaha cave temple. Unlike the Ganesha Ratha, this is not carved out of a rock, but it's carved inside a rock like a cave and hence is called cave temple. On the edges, you can see the rock inside which this is. Now, this temple is dedicated to Vishnu and hence you can see some beautiful carvings on the insides which are related to Vishnu. As you enter to the left, you will see the Varaha panel. Here you can see Vishnu in the Varaha avatar, that's boar incarnation. God Vishnu is portrayed here with the body of a man and head of a boar. Bhudevi, goddess of earth, is sitting on his lap. You may wonder why. So according to the legend, there were two gatekeepers of Vishnu, Jaya and Vijaya. One day, 4 wandering sages turned up to see Mahavishnu, but these two gatekeepers didn't allow them, due to which they were cursed to be reborn as Asuras, meaning demons. They were then reborn as the demon twins Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashyap to Kashyapa and Diti. Both Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashyap practiced penance and were granted boons by Brahma, which they eventually used to create widespread destruction. Hiranyaksha captured Bhudevi, the earth goddess, and pulled her deep into the cosmic ocean. And to save her, Vishnu took the avatar of Varaha and killed him. This panel represents that story. Beneath one of the legs of Vishnu is Nagaraj, the ruler of deep waters, and besides him is his queen who is saluting Vishnu with respect. To the right of Vishnu is Brahma, and to the top left is Surya, the son of God. In the adjacent panel, you can see Lakshmi, the goddess of good fortune, sitting on a lotus, which is her throne. 2 elephants are bathing her, which is an artistic symbol for clouds carrying rains. On both sides of Lakshmi are 2 royal ladies bringing pots of water for the bath. On to the right side of the door, we have the Durga panel, where you can see Goddess Durga standing in the middle. On the top left and right, you can see a lion and an antelope. Both are animals associated with Durga. The antelope is rarely associated, by the way. On the bottom left and right, there are 2 worshippers of Durga. One of them is about to cut his head off and sacrifice himself. This type of self-sacrifice did exist in the past. Besides this, you have the Trivikrama panel, where Vishnu is portrayed as Trivikrama, meaning 3-strider. Now this also has an interesting story behind it. The people you see near the feet of Vishnu at the bottom is King Mahabali and his men. Mahabali was an Asura, a demon, but a powerful and benevolent king, and also a devotee of Vishnu. After many wars, he had conquered both earth and heaven and was doing the Ashwamedha, which is a horse's sacrifice that's done to prove a king's imperial sovereignty. Basically a show of power. Now Indra, the king of gods and heaven, was not happy with this and sought Vishnu's help. Vishnu didn't want to outrightly destroy Mahabali and hence came up with a scheme. He took his 5th avatar and became Vamana, a dwarf Brahmin. When Mahabali was offering gifts to the Brahmins, Vamana visited him and stood in the line to receive gifts. He was the last in the line, and when Mahabali approached him, he said that he wanted the land that he could cover in 3 steps. Shukracharya, the guru of Mahabali, advised him against granting him the land, but Mahabali went ahead and granted Vamana the wish. Vaman then transformed into this gigantic form of Trivikrama and started taking the steps. With one step he covered the earth, and with the second he covered the heavens. When Vishnu asked Mahabali where could he take the third step, Mahabali removed his crown and humbly bowed down. Vishnu kept his foot on Mahabali's head and pushed him to Patal Lok, which is basically the underworld or hell. But before pushing him down, Vishnu had granted Mahabali a wish that once in a year he could come up to his kingdom and meet his people. This day of the year is celebrated as Onam in Kerala, and the place this whole event happened is Trikakara, which is a region in Kochi in Kerala. Trikakara basically comes from the word Tirkalkara, meaning the land of the holy foot. Here you also have a temple dedicated to Vamana. This Trivikrama panel shows Vishnu while he is taking the second stride. You can see his second leg has gone past the moon, which is shown in an anthropomorphic form, which means having human characteristics. On the other side, you can also see the sun, also in an anthropomorphic form. Above the sun god is Shiva, seated on a lotus, witnessing the whole event. In the upper right corner, you can see Brahma, again seated on a lotus and pouring water on Vishnu's sacred foot. It is said that this water becomes the source of the heavenly Ganga. Between Brahma and the crown of Vishnu is Jambavan, the king of bears, who is seen beating a drum in jubilation. Below Brahma is Namuchi, an Asura, who tried to hold Vishnu's leg so that he couldn't take the second step, but is now flung in the air as Vishnu raises his leg for the second stride. So that's the Varaha cave temple, one of the important temples in Mahabalipuram. And that brings us to the end of part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Meanwhile, do subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get the notification for part 2. And to show your support, you can press the like button. And if you want to show more support, then you can just click on the 3 dots besides the download button and click on thanks. Slide the bar to the amount you want to select and then click buy and send. And if you're watching on a phone which statistically has the most chance, you can find the thanks option besides the like and share buttons. Bye.